New York Justice Juan Merchan postponing a decision last week on whether to dismiss President-elect Donald Trump's conviction in his New York criminal trial based on Trump's election win and the U.S. Supreme Court's decision earlier this year on presidential immunity.
The postponement coming after both sides agreed to delay existing deadlines. Trump becoming the first president to be convicted of a felony back in May when a jury convicted him on 34 counts of falsifying business records. This was in relation to payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels. A decision could possibly come down tomorrow. Let's talk about it now with Jonna Spilbor, an attorney and legal analyst. Dwane Cates is a criminal defense attorney. Welcome to you both. Jonna, let's start with you. What do you anticipate happens with Justice Merchan tomorrow?
There is only one right answer here, and that is he has to dismiss this case. There's really no way out for him. The question is, how is he going to do it? Is he going to dismiss in a way that saves a little bit of face for him or not? I mean, he has some options here. He can simply grant the defense motion to dismiss, or perhaps the prosecution might catch a clue. They might make their own motion to dismiss in the interest of justice, or the judge could make his own motion to dismiss in the interest of justice and try to save a little face. Because let me tell you something, this case especially is a case study in lawfare. And I think it's going to come up again in the Trump administration, because I'm hoping that President Trump enacts some sort of, or has his people enact some sort of legislation that stops this from ever happening again.
Well, the sentencing date has been set for quite some time in Trump's conviction for his New York criminal trial. It's set for right before November 26th, right before Thanksgiving. Dwane, and then control room, we'll just go to the next one here, BB03. Trump's attorney, Emil Bowe, responding, arguing that the stay and dismissal of charges, quote, are necessary to avoid unconstitutional impediments to President Trump's ability to govern. Dwane, if you could predict what can happen, what should happen, or what might happen, what do you see?
I don't think anybody can predict anything in this case. However, I think that the judge needs to rule on the defense's motion to dismiss. Okay, that does a couple things. Even if they deny it, then President Trump has the avenue of trying a direct appeal to the United States Supreme Court and letting the Supreme Court, help dismiss the case. Because, I think if they just suspend this during his presidency, this is going to be hanging over his head the entire time. His political foes are going to throw it in his face every chance they get. And it needs to be resolved one way or the other. And if Merchan had any guts at all, he would just grant the motion to dismiss, because he should. The Supreme Court has spoken.
Yeah. Judge Andrew Napolitano has joined us many times on National Report. He said another option would be to delay for 4 years until after the Trump administration. I see you both shaking your heads. It sounds ridiculous, right? This has been going on for such a long time. But that's not the only legal challenge that Trump faces. As you know, Jack Smith and those criminal cases when it comes to the classified documents or the presidential election of 2020. But Smith is apparently planning to resign before Trump takes office, as according to the New York Times. So, Jonna, how does this impact these legal challenges here?
Jack Smith is quitting before he gets fired, because that would certainly happen the moment President Trump takes office. And especially the federal cases are really going to go away quickly. Without Jack Smith at the helm, I think the new DOJ is going to dismiss them, as they should. None of these cases, you guys, should be going forward. They never should have been brought. And now, especially since the country has spoken, they need to go away. The president doesn't need to expend 2 brain cells on having to defend himself in any sort of appeal, in any sort of potential conviction. He needs to run the country, and the country agrees with that. Our vote declared that 2 weeks ago.
And to Jonna's point, down in Georgia, the Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is preparing for a second term in office, saying she's not giving up on prosecuting Trump in his Georgia election interference case. A federal judge already rejecting requests to move the case to federal court. Dwane, talk to me about Georgia.
Well, that's just a vendetta is what it is. And Fani Willis is trying to save face. I mean, all these prosecutors are like rats trying to leave a sinking ship. Everybody's looking for a way out, and I think she's trapped. She's trapped herself in this case, and her political and her career kind of depends on it going forward. But I don't see how the Supreme Court would let this case go forward. Again, there is a rule that you cannot prosecute a sitting president because it takes away from his ability to run the country. And this would qualify for that. And I think that the Supreme Court will step in and have a say.
Yeah, and of course, we're all reminded in that moment of the ethics complaint that she had faced and all the drama that surrounded the Georgia election case. And yet, she says it's going to keep going. Jonas Billboard, Dwane Cates, thanks for joining us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.